So what's the answer? Hello?
No, I'm joking.
Oh shit! Fuck, I was like, oh no.
Nah, really, boys. The Lebbie podcast is the best podcast in the area, and you can't change my mind.
Bro, that's it. I can die happy. Yes.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The Lebbie podcast, best podcast in the area. No cap.
Welcome back to the Lebbie podcast, the number one podcast in the area. Obviously, today it's a different setting. As you can see, we're not in our usual setting, but we have our first ever Zoom guest podcast. So we've been doing a lot of podcasts basically for the last month or so.
Yeah,
we've just been doing it solo, and we're like, man, it's this lockdown's going to be over soon, but we really wanted to get none other than Teddy. You know, and
the man himself.
You know, obviously he lives in Melbourne. We're from Sydney, and we really want to do another podcast in person, but we thought we'd chop it up first on Zoom, see how it goes. Look, Teddy, no pressure. This is our first Zoom podcast, so you know,
hey,
forgive us if we fuck it up.
Don't worry about me, man. It's no pressure on you, boys.
Oh,
like,
fuck,
if you guys edit this and butcher it,
bro. Look,
yeah,
honestly, man. Bro, it's an honor to have you on, and just the fact that you follow us and you like our stuff and. You watched the Lebbie podcast, man. You were just telling us before we started, you like binge watched it, you know, on the job. And fuck, bro, that just hearing that is like crazy.
It just feels like so nostalgic just to hear like that. Because I grew up watching Teddy. Like,
of course, bro. He's the OG. Yeah. Teddy's one of the OGs. And let's just start with your name, right? Like Teddy. Yeah. Okay. Like I'm infatuated with people's name. I always ask them like the name. Where did it come from? So obviously your real name is not Teddy. It's Rashid.
Yeah.
But where did Teddy come from?
Look, man, when I was in high school, like I was playing video games, man. I never really did gym, never did anything like that.
Yeah.
And I remember we were on the tram down to the beach one day, and man, we were just like 10 boys, you know, just typical boys from the area. We're on the tram, we're heading towards the city, man. And this old lady just like stands up in front of us randomly, and she's like, "Oh, you're so cute. You look like a teddy bear."
What?
And then like we all just looked at each other and we're just like, and we just started cracking up.
Bro,
so obviously like teddy bear, and then teddy bear became Teddy. And then when I went to make my initial YouTube username, I was like, look, Rashid is hard to pronounce. I'm like, you know what? Teachers butcher it.
Bro.
I'm like, I'll stick with Teddy.
I know the go, bro.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm like Teddy. Nah, no username unavailable. Mr. Teddy username unavailable. And it was like, I'm Mr. Teddy. And I'm like, boom. There we go.
Bro, so, it is OG, honestly. And the thing about Teddy is like, it just like the way, like when you say it, it just sounds good. Like it just slips off the tongue, like Teddy. And now it's obviously TEDSTHETICS on your TikTok and on your Instagram as well. So it's changed up. Like it's just getting like remixed.
It's maintained that TED part.
It's maintained the TED part.
Hey, soon will be TEDSTHETICS featuring T-Pain and Akon remix.
Bro, it's going to be the full remix, bro. Honestly, man. But man, like when you were saying like you watch our stuff, and I don't know if you remember this, I want to like wind back a bit. You first engaged with my content on TikTok, I think, and this was like last year, and I don't know if you remember, but you commented on one of like my skits, and like I couldn't believe it. Like I saw it, and it's like it said TEDSTHETICS, and because I was following you, I was following him I was following you on Instagram before that, and I was like, wait, it can't be him. Then I clicked it, and you had like I think you had one video out. And you were doing a rant video, and then I watched it. I'm like, bro, that's actually Teddy. And you commented on my video. You put like laughing faces and stuff. I'm like, wow, bro, it's fucking Teddy. Yeah, bro. I don't know if you remember like the first time you commented and stuff, but it was a while back. I think it was like last year.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I started off on the TEDSTHETICS account, then I went to a burner account. So like nothing got to do with my name or anything like that. So
what do you mean like a burner account?
Like a fake account.
You know how drug dealers have burner phones?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now it's like it's gone to like
pretty much like off the radar. You wouldn't know, like no profile photo, no nothing.
Wait, what were you doing though? What were you doing on that account?
Can we see the liked?
Can we see the liked videos?
I was just consuming content. That's it, man.
Oh, what kind of content?
I was literally just watching TikTok, and the For You page was showing me what I like.
Oh,
so just reflecting back onto me.
Yeah,
so nothing malicious. But obviously, I think it sees me in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, and it's just like, yep, we're going to throw as much Western Sydney at him as possible. Yeah. And obviously, I had come across like you, and like everyone else on TikTok, And
the area,
that
they
just
call
kept
them
coming
the
through.
area sort of TikTokers. And I know you see that sort of circle that people like.
Pretty much, man.
Yeah.
And like, that kept getting like popping up on my For You page. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time I hop back on like, my TEDSTHETICS or whatever. I had come across your content, everyone else's content. And yeah, man, the rest was history. And then what happened was I went on your account and I clicked your Instagram. And I'm like, wait,
I follow you. Yeah. I've been following you for a while, bro. And the thing is, what I love the most is your transformation, bro. Like the thing is, I like you obviously were doing YouTube and then you didn't post. You went through like a big sort of break and stuff. And then I started 8-year gap. And then I started following you again, not long before like I made TikTok and that. Like I think I started following you early to mid 2019, something like that. And like I noticed your transformation because I saw someone sent me like one of your videos. I think you were, I don't know, I can't remember. But then I followed you and I'm like, bro, that's Teddy. And like your transformation was crazy because obviously you were a bit more chunky, you like back in the day. So it's just crazy how far you've come.
Man.
How did that happen? Like how did that sort of like, because obviously you back in the OG YouTube days, which we'll talk about more, but like you were pretty chunky. Like you were much different, but now it's like the only thing that stayed that it's still noticeable is the eyebrows, bro. Like it's like you can't miss Teddy with the eyebrows.
That's the branding, man.
That's the branding.
That's it. It's like Nike. They can change it to whatever, but if the tick is there, that's what you remember.
The tick is there.
Yeah, man. Look, I think the main thing with YouTube, obviously, I cranked out like 1.5 to 2 years worth of YouTube videos. I think my thing back then was like 1 video a week. I just cranked them out, and I think for 2 years I did it, and I didn't take a break anywhere between them, and I had like creatively burnt myself out. So it was like 2 years of me just putting out videos, making everyone else laugh, but never spending time to focus on myself or like do things for myself. Maybe just
so you weren't
making videos.
That's how.
So you weren't happy, like
no, I think it's like I was sort of like towards the end, I was almost like got bored of it,
right? Okay.
In a way, and that's sort of like if you don't enjoy doing something, what's the point of doing it?
Yeah, that's exactly
pleasing others, but at the end of the day, it's like you need to please yourself as well. You need to think about yourself.
Pretty much, and when you don't enjoy the process anymore, people can feel it.
That's right. You're a bit off in your videos.
Exactly, man. And when you feel off, people start, especially with YouTube and now TikTok. Like anyone can comment under any name. You get people start throwing comments your way, and
bro, tell me about it.
And then you start capitulating.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to do was like the saying I think I always say is you either die a hero, or you live long enough to become a villain.
That's it. I love that one.
So I was like, do I die a hero and just leave respectfully? Everyone will remember me for the good times, good videos, good laughs. Or do I start making some content that ends up being cringe?
That's the thing,
obviously.
That's a very common
thing, happens, bro.
Yeah,
it happens, man.
It's always the case. Like people just keep making content, and then when people keep making content, and then they realize that they're running out of ideas. So they're like, I need to do something.
It's not good to burn yourself out. Just you need to think about yourself sometimes. And
pretty much, man. So I took that step back. I traveled the world, went Europe, went visited family in Morocco, came back.
This was before you got married?
Studying. Yeah, this was before I got married.
Yeah.
And then I started studying, worked. Then I had met my wife, got married. We did a lot of traveling together as well. And then man, had kids. I've got two beautiful daughters, man.
But did you cut your content off like way before you met your wife, or was it
way before, man?
Right, okay.
Like
so you had a full life, between YouTube and
pretty much, man. And I think like what I explain to a lot of people is, I just, like you said, just dropped off the face of the planet. Yeah, like I just was making videos.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, because you were making videos with like different style videos. Like you're doing those rants, but you were also having like, I remember Dare Sundays and stuff like that. Like you were,
with the
had a lot of collabs with the Janoskians and you wanted to bring it up as well. That
the road trip.
You had that road trip thing.
I remember there was.
Do you remember?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Of course, man. So
with Mo Bulldogs.
Yeah, man. Road trip with Chess Mo Bulldogs.
And that was peak. That was peak.
That was peak OG YouTube.
Pretty much, man. Yeah, man, that's like looking back at LimeWire, man. It's weird times.
And how old?
The guy that goes very, very successful.
Who's that guy?
I forgot his name.
Like
we watched it not long ago. That's why.
the comedian of X Factor. He has like the veneer.
He's got the veneers. I remember that guy.
Well, yeah.
Man.
What a throwback.
Yeah. So what happened was with that is they recorded a pilot, like obviously whatever's on YouTube now. Yeah. And they were going to pitch it to a TV network. To say oh, you know what? We've got like 5-6 YouTubers, and then we'll build up from there. So you know, I did it did I enjoy it? Probably not, but it was a good experience. Yeah.
How old were you?
I think
how old were you?
I was 18, man.
Oh, you were young, man. You were young. Because like I think about it now, like when I'm making content now, I'm doing content on YouTube and TikTok. I'm 24 at the moment, and so I'm thinking like, in terms of like getting married, setting yourself up and stuff. You done it smart. Well, you sort of like stop making content. You set yourself up. You're working, and then you got married. You got 2 kids and stuff, and now you're back to content, and now you're making back content. I guess everyone has their own timelines, but I don't know. Like everyone sort of, you get that pressure from like family and stuff, and like getting married, this and that, and I don't know. Like how do you sort of balance that?
Being Arab in that way,
being Arab, continue to make content. Well, this is like a hobby for me.
It's just something
at the moment. It's a hobby. Because obviously I have
treat it as such, man. Treat it as such. At the end of the day, one of the most important things are relationships, and whether that's family, whether that's marriage, or whether that's friendships. Obviously, that'll always be important. So it's obviously you just got to learn to prioritize, and I think that comes with time. Obviously, like you said, I had stopped making content, traveled, did what I had to do, got married, and then came back into it. And I think like if anyone's making content and worried about that, I think, that should be the last thing on their mind, because that with, as we say in Moroccan, whatever's written by God, it's going to come, whether you're making content or whether you're selling shoes or like on the floor at the market. Yeah. Whatever's written for you will come your way. And, obviously a lot of people won't understand that if they're not faithful, but, whether you're making content, treat it as a hobby. It'll be just like, oh, how does someone who goes fishing every weekend is going to find a wife? And
it's a different sort of hobby though. Like I know people say treat it as a hobby, and it is a hobby, but at the same time, it's you putting yourself out there. Like it's you putting yourself for everyone to see. And like, we were talking about this before as well, like before the podcast, and like how you present yourself is how people are going to perceive you. And like, it's when you want to sort of settle down, get married and stuff, you have all these videos, which you have to sort of think, like, if I meet my future wife and then she's going to be seeing all these videos of me that I'm making, and I'm like sitting there swearing at like these people and doing this and that, like it's not a good look. You know what I mean?
Depends on the content.
So it just depends.
Man. Like,
it all just really depends on what you want. And like I think making content is it's a hobby in the end of the day, but at the same time, everyone has that sort of feeling inside them where they're like, one day I want to quit my job and I want to do this for the rest of my life. And you think that like
it is possible.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. Possible, like, man. One day, like, were you thinking that when you were doing YouTube?
Look, the first year I felt untouchable, mate, doing YouTube. Like obviously, as everyone knows, YouTube does pay. So it was paying really well. So I think like 3-4 months into it, I was earning enough to not have to work. So all I did was make YouTube videos, and like that paid me. The funny thing is, like, I probably like did collabs with like 2-3 brands, because back then it wasn't a thing. Like if you're on YouTube, you're like,
sponsors,
no sponsors. YouTuber. No sponsors. Like, like why would we sponsor a YouTuber when we can do ads on TV?
Yeah. Wow.
But YouTube like was sufficient money, and I did it for a while, and obviously the money is good. Can you maintain it for the rest of your life? That's a whole different question. I think the one thing that a lot of people underestimate is longevity. It's fun to make content for a month. It's fun to make content for 3 months, 6 months, a year. But after a year, man, people grow, people get bored, people change, and I've seen it, because the people who used to enjoy my videos on YouTube probably look at my TikToks and is like, oh no, we miss the swearing. Oh no, we miss you talking about this. Oh no, we miss you talking about that. But reality is, like 10 years on, I'm not going to be speaking about the same things. Yeah,
that's right. Exactly. That's right. But the thing is, you haven't changed. If you think about it, you haven't changed the content much. Like it's still the same sort of ranting content, but you have found the perfect niche on TikTok in the sense where it's quick ranting, and it's like the thing I love most about your content is you give them the context of the video at the start. You're like, these are the worst 3 coffees, and you can't change my mind. And then people are like, they're hooked. because TikTok, you need the quick attention span. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That's
and I think it's also like the way there's two like main methods, and like I'll just put this out there very quickly. My number one rule is be like Nike. And in the sense of like when I make content, I don't ever want anyone, and I think I've left a comment on your first ever episode of the Lebbie podcast saying that people will always try and rattle you with, oh, you sound like Super Wog, oh, you do this like Super Wog, oh, you do this like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like, but he's not the only Wog there is out there to make content. You know, bro, like, and there were Wogs before him, man.
Exactly.
You know, there was Fat Pizza, there was Wog Boys, there was everything.
Bro, there was heaps.
You know, and there's heaps. So like,
I just
for
want
me,
to put a
like,
label on you, bro. That's
100%, man. People will try and rattle you and everything, but for me, number one rule, be like Nike, in the sense of like, you look at Nike clothes, you never ever look at Nike clothes and think, Adidas has done that before, or Puma has done that before.
Exactly right.
So my number one rule is that. And number two, obviously, I've actually forgot the number. The number two rule was like, you know, if I'm creating content, it's got to be like, if I'm kicking back at a barbecue, is this the type of discussion I'd have? If I'm kicking back with my colleagues, is this the type of discussion I'd have?
Yeah.
Because
it's
like
different.
I said,
it's not very like painted with fairy tales and this and that, and like, you know, it's like I'm having a conversation with you and you're telling me your worst 3 coffees, and I'm like, fuck, he's right. Fuck, that makes sense.
Or like on the contrary, there's people who's like, nah, man, he's wrong.
Exactly. You want that.
I'm sorry to say, Teddy, but that was made for the cappuccino, bro.
He was about the cappuccino.
He's right.
The biggest like, Arab coffee on earth, man.
But like the short
every manouche place
just seems manly,
burning milk, just trying to make froth for people like you, man.
Bro, just get a piccolo latte. It's better.
The short black
pretty much, man.
So much manlier. I just love the cappuccino, bro.
He just likes the little white mustache, man.
Oh yeah, the chocolate as well, bro. The chocolate.
May as well have a fucking baby tuna, eh?
Hey, I thought it. You said it, Mahmoud.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's it. So with your content now, so you found that niche, obviously, and you're continuing now. Like, how do you come up? Like, I know this is probably you get this question so many times, and this is over asked. Like, but how do you sit there and you're like, does it just occur to you? You're like, bro, you know what? Fucking, if you get a cappuccino, and then you're like, actually, I'll put that in my notes, and then I'll make a video about the worst 3 coffees, or you just like actually sit down and brainstorm?
Man, I think it's a bit of both. I think the initial idea. So I think the first 5 seconds of a video. So when I say this is, you know, the worst 3 vacuums.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, that's like, and you can't change my mind. Yeah, like I'm just looking at my wife's Dyson vacuum. Yeah, and like I'm thinking to myself, right, worst 3. That's the initial thing. I'll be like, you know what? This is actually debatable. Let me make a list, and I'll try and make it as accurate as possible, right? Because at the end of the day, the whole point is you can't change my mind, which means it's as accurate as possible.
Yeah.
The thing about, literally nothing you can say.
Yeah, and you've left that, like, everyone has a sort of a little bit of a catchphrase. You've done it smart where you've left that catchphrase. And I notice a lot of people, they don't like change on TikTok. So if you leave that caption like that, when you say, I can't change my mind, people love that. Like, there's always got to be a comment, oh, and you can't change my mind. You know, like, they love that stuff. They don't like you changing.
It's the hook, man.
It's a trademark. It's the hook. There you go. It's the hook.
You know what it's like? It's like, you know, when you listen to Akon and you hear convict music. Like,
that's right. Exactly. Yeah. Or
that,
Jason
you know?
Derulo.
Like
Jason Derulo. Like, same thing.
Exactly, man. So I think it's one of those things that I did unintentionally.
Yeah, exactly.
People just
works.
Stuck with them. So
it's iconic, bro. It's iconic. It's definitely iconic.
Thank you. Too kind.
So back in when you were doing YouTube, let's go a bit more back to your YouTube days. Times were different, bro. Let's face it, times were very different. The clothes we wear, you were just talking about Nike. Back then, you used to wear like the Obey and like the swag, you know, like the Chicago Bulls snapback and stuff like that.
I still
like,
do, man.
You still do, huh? You still got that.
I still do,
style,
man.
Bro, it's funny how much the style has changed, huh? Like, you used to wear the Vans.
Man. Dude, like back then, people used to ask me on my videos, like, dude, where'd you get the Obey hoodie? You can't find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's just like, oh yeah, it's Obey. It's all right. Like,
Obey,
skater brand.
Yeah. Bro, it was like,
it's crazy, man. A lot has changed.
Bro, and the, like, back then, like, everyone had like those fringes, like the Janoskis. You talk about the Janoskins, the hairstyles were so different and stuff.
Like,
yeah, man. Like, imagine getting a fade back then.
Bro, it's so different.
Be like, it would just be weird.
It would be so weird. Do you keep in contact with like any of those creators still, or like completely like?
Nah, man. Like, Like no bad blood or anything like that. It's just, I guess, like everyone goes into different aspects of their life. Yeah. And I think like going by our last couple of conversations, it was just like almost like a very like brief, I think almost that mutual respect of, hey, like you're in a different point in your life, I'm in a different point in my life.
Yeah.
I can't, like, we can't relate, man. We can't hang out.
That's
because,
right.
Like,
I think,
like when you hang around people who are parents or people who like, have like know what they're doing in their life.
Completely different,
bro. Like I'm very grateful in the sense of like, I work a normal job, I've got a family to feed and everything. So my conversation is very like, bread and butter, very vanilla conversation.
Yeah.
Whilst, they're still like, oh, I want to see girls, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's like, dude,
one of them, I can't remember their names.
I can't do that.
I can't remember. I know their names, but I don't know which one's which. So I think one of them popped up on my FYP recently, and it was like he was still doing videos of like pranking people or something. And like, when they talk on the phone and then they act like, and then oh, I'm not talking to you. It was a video like that. And I was like, bro, they're still doing similar videos to how they used to. And it's like, bro, it's crazy how like things are coming back. And even those people on TikTok that do interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a full circle.
Full circle.
As I said, man, it comes to a point where, the first few videos, it's funny.
Yeah.
And then after that,
that's right.
Just, like as a creator, and 100% you two boys will like resonate with this when I do say it. You walk a fine line. On this side, you are the funniest person on TikTok. I love your content, this and that.
Yeah.
On this side is, bro, that's cringe, man. Yeah, you're all right. Like,
yeah,
like, bro, like, what's wrong with you? And bro, like, obviously, we don't have to name any names, and there are so many creators on.
We can drop if you want. We can make it spicy, bro. We're setting up a boxing event.
Look, man, like from the top of my head, I can't really think of anyone, but I can just say the type of videos, and people will click on right away. In the sense of, like they go out to a shopping center or something, interview,
bro, it's so overdone.
Like 3 people, and it's so like 3 people, like they'll ask a girl, oh, like, oh, what's your type of guy? And then they'll be like, oh, I love this, that, like, it would just be like, dude, like,
it's a bit creepy sometimes as well, the way they ask him the questions, and they're like staring at him for like a fucking,
just like,
it's like, bro, that's weird, man.
Like, it's so weird because it looks so staged.
It does.
Like, that's what
I think
it
is staged. Most of it is staged
so
anyway.
staged.
I think
Honestly,
it has to be, man. Like, bro, if someone come up to you at like Westfield and like stopped you, like, oh, what's your type of girl? You look at him and be like, bro, you're right.
Yeah, like what the fuck, like, exactly. And some of them do videos where it's like, oh, can you pretend to be my dad? And like, oh, my girlfriend's fucking doing this. And I was like, bro, as if someone like is gonna, like, it's just out of nowhere. Like, it's obviously all been planned and stuff.
Oh, of course, man. And like, look, man, there are people that enjoy that type of content, living in fairy tale world and everything. For me personally, man, as a content creator and as someone who watches TikTok, like, I don't rate it, man.
Yeah, and the thing about, I can sort of relate to this as well, where like I do that Lebos and Aussie stuff as well. Like I was doing that for a while back on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it was getting the views, it was getting the engagement and stuff, and a lot of people like it. It seems like it's a thing here, or like if you just say like, oh, Lebo's doing this, it'll fucking get you views, 100%. Like when you're, it'll get views, even if it's the cringiest shit, even if it's not funny, it'll get the views. But the thing is, I started realizing like some of it was getting cringy, and like I don't know, like wearing a wig and stuff, it wasn't really doing it for me. And that's why, if you've I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm starting to change my content a bit. And although it's hard, I had to do it, bro, because it was starting to get into like a circle, like, like do this video, Lebos versus Aussies, Lebos versus Aussies. And I wasn't enjoying it anymore.
Of course, man. I think it's the way I explained it, and it'd be like a low hanging fruit. Like you can get that low hanging fruit. It's, easy to get. And, like obviously, but, if you want the better fruit, it's going to be a bit higher. So sometimes high effort, high reward pays off. And obviously, like, you've changed your ways, and it's probably for the better, man. If you don't enjoy doing it, then what's the point, man?
I don't know. And it seems like people from like, I know Melbourne. So you guys have Lebos, right? We have Lebos.
Yeah.
So the Lebos in Melbourne, I feel like, are different from the Lebos in Sydney. I don't know how similar we are, but we have a lot of references that we make that I don't know if you get, like the Meritons reference or the Krispy Kremes and that, and KKs and this. How different is it in Melbourne? Like, do you guys understand those references and that?
Yeah, like we get it because obviously it's TikTok lingo. Yeah, like it's so often that, like, oh, you click on right away. And then obviously there's that whole Sydney girls love Melbourne guys, and Melbourne girls love Sydney guys.
It's such a thing, eh?
Yeah.
It's like, you love what you can't get.
Pretty much, man. I think with stuff like that, the grass is green on the other side.
Exactly right.
So people think like, oh, you know, I don't like Sydney girls because they sleep with X, Y, Z. I prefer Melbourne girl, but they don't realize that
they're the same shit.
It's probably the same. Like, dude, like if a girl is like this in Melbourne, she's gonna be like that in Sydney, and vice versa, man.
100%.
I swear the amount of times
you dealt with.
Bro, the amount of times that people put up, oh, I want to move to Melbourne, or oh, I want to move to Sydney. Brother, it's just the same shit, different smell. That's what it is. Honestly, it's just what it is, bro.
But it's like when people are like, oh, you know, I can't drink Mount Franklin, I need Fiji water. It's like, bro, it's still water, man.
It's still water, exactly.
The label's different. That's all it is.
Exactly, bro. Honestly.
Exactly, bro. Honestly, but that's the thing. Like you see a girl, for example, on Instagram. Oh, you obviously can't relate, but you see a girl on Instagram, and then they're like, oh, okay, bro, and then it's like Melbourne. You're like, fuck.
It's like it's false flag. It's like,
you start living in fantasy world, man.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you know, I need to move
like,
to
oh,
Melbourne.
you know, should I move to that state? Should I start doing this? Should I start doing that? And obviously it's very easy for people to start like almost like they start convincing themselves like, you know, am I really meant to be in Sydney? You know, maybe my nasib is in another state. And it's like, bro, your nasib isn't in another state, man. It looks good, man.
It just looks good. It's just like, as you said, you love what you can't get, and that's just the reality. So if I go to Melbourne now, I'll be like, wait, I'll look around, bro. It's the same thing. It's like I'm in the city. It's the same thing.
I think it's one of those things where you'll go through the honeymoon phase of 2 weeks being here. Then after that, you'll realize it's the same thing.
Honestly, 100%. Bro, you had a quick sort of like uplift in TikTok. I noticed now you're on like 100 and something thousand followers. And that was only in the space of what? Like you've only been really posting for a few months, right? Like
3 months, man.
3 months. So what I want to ask you is, obviously you're Teddy. Obviously you had some sort of background in YouTube in the OG days and stuff. Yeah. How much, and you can be completely honest here, how much did that help sort of, because I've seen like some of your early videos and because I followed you early on and I was seeing a lot of people saying, oh, wait, is that Teddy? ? Oh, that's Teddy. Oh my God, no way. My childhood, no way. And this and that. Did that sort of help? Obviously you did your hard yards. Obviously you're still putting out amazing content and stuff, but would you sort of say that helped you in a way?
I think it helped me initially, but right now it's come to the point where people are probably going to watch this and they're probably not going to be like, nah, man, this guy did YouTube, and then they'll go look back on my old videos. Yeah,
exactly.
I think with TikTok, it's a whole different crowd. Yeah. There are a lot of people that used to watch me, and frankly, they just don't have time for TikTok or YouTube these days. You know, like I still bump into some boys right now, like if I go grab a coffee and I'll bump into them at a cafe, and obviously it's all takeaway, so it's like almost like a small chat, and one of them will be like, oh, you know, I loved your recent video, and the other guy will be like, you're making videos?
Yeah, oh really?
Oh wow. Yeah, man, it's still
it's like, just different crowds, eh?
It is, yeah.
Very, like, do people crowd, man, and I think TikTok is a lot younger as well, man. That's
right. Like, do people? So you took an 8-year break, yeah? Were you still getting recognized in those 8 years from YouTube?
The first 2 years, like there was still that conversation of, oh, why don't you make videos? Oh, why don't you make videos? Yeah, bro. Because like when I first started making videos, it was like, bro, YouTube is an American thing. Like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, bro,
you feel like you can't do it.
Yeah, you speak to any kid, they're like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber.
Exactly.
It seems far-fetched.
So normal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when I first started TikTok, it was like such an internal battle of, you know, it's a kid's app, but it isn't at the same time, because like what you have to remember is, if there's kids, there's adults as well.
100%, bro.
Yeah. So 100%. It was like almost like a gamble. So I started off on Instagram Reels, and I started like my first few videos that aren't on TikTok are on Instagram Reels. Yeah. And what had happened was I made a Melbourne video about COVID.
Yeah.
And someone ripped it off my Instagram and put it on TikTok.
Oh, what?
Oh, wow.
Fuck.
And they got like, bro, zero credit, 560K views overnight.
Oh my God. And you're like, bro, I was supposed to myself.
That's such a thing with TikTok. It's just, there's a lot of
cricket. No copyright.
Too much, way too much, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I had someone come up to me at work and they're like, bro, I didn't know you made TikToks. I'm like, bro, what are you on about? And then he's like, isn't this you?
No idea.
And all I see is my head like,
that's
like
crazy.
This. And I'm like, what the hell? So that's when I like, you know, I dropped the hammer. I turned to my wife. I'm like, Teddy's back on TikTok.
I'm going in. That's it.
That's it.
Return of Teddy. Yeah.
Pretty much, man. I think Return of Teddy, but like in a whole different rebranded way.
So now, do you get recognized now a lot more?
It's lockdown. I haven't seen anyone, man.
Oh, okay. But when lockdown ends, bro, you're gonna see the difference now. When you like, it's gonna be a lot more now because obviously you're pumping out that FYP and you're always on that FYP. And it's
Look,
like,
man,
bro.
I think it was that few days before, because you know how we had that 8 days opening.
Yeah.
Whilst you guys were still in lockdown.
Yep.
So in that 8 days, like I had people coming up to me at work because obviously, like working in the fitness industry, being in the gym, people coming in and out, and I was probably at the time probably around 35K followers on TikTok.
Yep.
And probably like 10K on Instagram, and
Yep.
I had people coming up to me being like, I think I saw you on TikTok.
You're the guy from TikTok.
So,
And it's like, fuck.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then they're like, why are you swearing about Aldi? And I'm like, bro, relax, man.
They got to find something, eh?
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where like now it's a respectful conversation of, oh, you said this, but I agree or I disagree.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like everyone's...
It's all a part of the conversation. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly, man. And,
like I was telling you
like,
before this, like I was telling you about the Turkish Delight. I was like, bro, the Turkish Delight, come on, man. It's like one of my favorite chocolates, bro. It's one of my favorite chocolates.
Man.
It's underrated.
Can't convince me, man.
Come on,
can't change my mind.
I can't change his mind. That's just Teddy. You can't change his mind.
That's it, bro. Know, so, like, obviously, we'll see the rubber band effect post lockdown, man. Once we open up,
you'll notice it, bro.
You know, as I said, inshallah, part 2 in person, we'll be able to hash it out by then, man.
Yeah.
Bro, and you were saying like you thought on TikTok the reason why you were a bit hesitant to jump on was that you thought the crowd and the audience was all young kids, and I thought that too. But the thing that changed my mind is when I started, I changed my mind. the thing that changed my mind, not your mind, but changed my mind was when I walked out and like I was this like older guys were coming up to me. They're like, "Bro, you're a funny cunt, bro. I love your videos." And I'm like, "What? Do you actually watch my videos?"
All that come from TikTok.
Yeah, and it's like older guys, and I'm like, "Bro, okay, there's not only kids here, so it's crazy. You'll be surprised."
I think that what I meant by kids, I don't mean the demographic. I mean like they'd prefer to listen to a chick lip sync, or they prefer to see a guy,
TikTok,
like dancing like topless in his room, like I don't know, like just stuff like that. So I was like, man, this is such a kids thing, like not necessarily the demographic, but I felt like there was so much dancing and lip syncing. But then I looked at it of, okay, cool. If everyone's doing that, if I do something completely opposite, that's where the growth is.
That's what it started off. Come a long way. It started off as like that musically type of content.
Yeah. Like Addison Rae and Charlie D'Amelio.
It's like an evolved Vine now. I find it. It's like
it is, and Vine died. But do you see? Honest question, Teddy. Honest question. Do you see TikTok going for long, like in the long run?
I'll tell you, it's going to go longer than what's out there now, man.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
so.
Like the algorithm is just
the
so
simplicity
superb,
as well,
like for the consumer and the creator.
Yeah.
So if you love TikTok, like I have never been on my For You page and seen the same video twice.
That's what's crazy. It's like it's so good how you just see like, and you're like, this content can't get better, and then it just relates more and more to you, and you're like, bro, wow, this is
it's easy to get content.
Pretty much.
I think it's simple.
So easy.
Like you don't even have to search. It's just swipe.
Pretty much, man. You don't have to get recommendations. The algorithm will recommend it to you.
Exactly. It's just
and as a creator, like when I did YouTube, I had to physically post my link and tell people click it and watch it.
Yeah. You got to force them. That's what we're struggling with. That's what we're struggling with. Like to try and we're also, I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes we're trying to like advertise our YouTube from TikTok and bring the TikTokers to YouTube. It is the hardest thing you could do.
TikTok doesn't like that.
It's almost impossible.
And
they shadow ban it. Yeah, they shadow ban the videos.
I hate it, man.
Yeah. Hello, you've had success on both. Okay, so you've like killed YouTube game like back in the day, and now you're killing TikTok.
Yeah,
there's arguments for and against both apps, and I feel like TikTok, yes, you can get easy success, but the reward is not as good as the success on YouTube.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Like, what do you think? Because you've obviously had success in both. What do you think is more rewarding?
Man, I think it's a different type of rewarding. I think that's the best way to explain it. If you like that quick, like I said, like literally, I'll probably said it during this podcast or just before, where there's a lot of people that get lucky, man, with TikTok, and it's like that quick hit, where hey, like I got a bit of momentum, let me run with it.
Yeah.
And then there are some people on YouTube that get that quick hit as well, right? And they run off the momentum. With TikTok, that quick hit is like easy come, easy go. It's just, I think the best way to explain it, it's like
Exactly
steroids.
right.
YouTube is like training naturally. TikTok is like steroids.
Exactly right.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
perfect way to put it.
Right. Like you're gonna get quick gains. You're gonna look good and everything. But there's gonna come to a point where, and we've seen it, and you've probably experienced it as well. I'm yet to experience it, where people get shadow banned.
Bro, it's gonna happen. I'm telling you, just prepare for it. But when it happens, don't get like turned off. Just be like, yeah, it's just a phase, and then
it comes around, yeah. And like everyone gets their turn regardless, man. And like there's probably like a few creators where I look at them now and I'm like, man, surely these people are shadow banned. But it's one of those things, yeah. Once that TikTok, that time where you have to jump off steroids and everything starts coming down, that's where issues come in. Because when you're used to a high, when you're used to people coming up to you, when you're used to people commenting on your stuff, and you don't get that high anymore,
oh shit,
people turn to that cringe content.
It's like drugs, bro. It's like drugs.
Pretty much, man.
Shit, like you need that.
YouTube,
you need that clout.
YouTube is that slow and rewarding process.
It's a grind.
Exactly. But when you get to that, 100K subscribers or 50K or like 10K, like whatever your milestone is, it's the sweetest joy because you worked hard for it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's more audible.
Yeah.
The thing about TikTok, bro, is like I've seen a lot of people where they have like 100 or 200K followers, and then you look at their views, it's like, what the fuck? It's like 600 views.
5,000.
5,000 or something like that. And you're like, how is that possible? How can someone have 200,000 followers and only get this much views? And it's just the craziness of the app. And as you said, quick, easy come, easy go. It's crazy, bro.
And it's very easy for people to get switched off as well. Like exactly. TikTok is like that short attention span. Like you said, you need that hook to bring them in.
Yeah.
And it also takes that one video that turns someone off, and they'll never look at your content again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh shit, nah, this guy. There you go.
Cancel.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Unfollow. That's it, man. They'll cancel you without telling you.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
You mentioned recently, I don't know how long ago it was, but you mentioned recently you might make a comeback to the OG app. Is that still on the horizon?
That's still on the horizon, but I need to plan it better, man. Like I think it's one of those things where I don't want to rush greatness. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it consistently. Obviously, I'd love to have a chat with you boys because obviously you guys have the podcast set up.
100%, bro.
Something like that, or if I was to go down like the skit route, or like even like a long form rant type thing.
Yeah.
It's the potential is endless. But I think it just needs better planning. I'm currently in a situation where I'll probably just say this on the podcast where like I haven't been working. Been in the fitness industry, we copped it, right?
Obviously,
and and alhamdulillah, like I got a new job today.
Alhamdulillah, man.
So like obviously, like now I can sort of plan, like where everything's looked after in the terms of like working and like being productive. So like I'm not a productive human if I'm not productive. I'm not a productive content creator if I'm not a productive human.
That's exactly right.
That's the way I say it. Like what you can work from home is awesome. You'll get the job done. But are you the same Mahmoud? Probably not, because you're speaking to Moses, you're speaking to your siblings. That's like it's only social interaction you're getting, man.
Yeah,
100%.
So maybe like YouTube is around the corner, man.
Yeah. And with the TikTok, so when you jump onto YouTube, a lot of people, and I've seen this happen a lot, and it's just a big mistake that TikTokers think, where they're like seeing all this success on TikTok and they're like, oh, okay, cool, that's easy. Then they put their same videos on YouTube, and it just doesn't work, man. That just shows how hard it is on YouTube.
Different crowd, bro. Boom. Different crowd, bro.
Completely different crowd.
Same thing with YouTube.
You know what it's like?
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It'll be like, how can I explain it? It'll be like going to a, 21st birthday and playing 2000s R&B. Like a few people might like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's exactly right.
369. Oh, we haven't heard this before, bro. Put on some Pop Smoke or something. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, sure, it's good. But it doesn't mean it's going to be good everywhere it goes. And same thing happens, like right now, Facebook is about to release Reels. I'm pretty sure they have already.
They're all releasing Reels, man. It's a thing now, hey?
They're all becoming the same.
They're all copying TikTok, where it's like, even YouTube has shorts.
Yeah, YouTube Shorts is awesome, but it won't catch on, man. Like, in my opinion.
I agree. I haven't tried it yet. I think I'm going to try it, but I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. It seems like it's a bit of a...
Try it to upload your content, but don't try it like as someone who watches. It's boring, man.
No, it's not the same. Just
Yeah.
I think they've all tried to mimic that TikTok sort of feel, but none of them
TikTok
match it.
cracked the code. That's why they just
TikTok just cracked that code.
Hey, China, bro.
Bro, China.
They
Damn
just-
Chinaman.
Someone Chinese watching the podcast.
Oh shit, we're gonna get cancelled. No, we'll bleep that out. Bro, I've wanted to ask you this for a while now, and I thought I'd leave it for my podcast. The way you do your videos is very like stand-up comedian-ish. I find that it's very like it could work as a stand-up comedian because like I could see you. I don't know why I always picture you as like someone standing up on stage and ranting about stuff. And I think it'll work perfect. And you could probably, bro, I'm telling you, you could sell out arenas with just the way you sort of like deliver those like the comparisons that you do. And if you can do it in a sort of long form, is that something that you're sort of like looking into? Like one day you want to sort of, start stand up, but I don't know. I guess I don't know how that sort of starts. How does stand up sort of start? Like, do you just?
I think with stand up, it's structure.
Right.
Like turning 100 TikTok videos into a 1 hour is hard, because it's very easy to start rambling on. Like, all it takes is one heckler, and then you start roasting them.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're completely off the script.
Yeah.
So I think like I'm not gonna lie to you. I think one of my main goals getting into TikTok isn't my goal now, probably, but it's not as important.
Yeah.
Was to potentially get a Netflix special or an Amazon special.
Bro, that would be crazy.
In the sense of like, that's something that no one from our backgrounds or culture has done in Australia.
No one at all.
Stop.
Bro, I don't know any like sort of from our sort of Arab background from Australia that's actually up there in stand up like at the moment.
No.
Full stop. Yeah.
Full stop,
like, dude, like the probably like, everyone has sort of had some local success, but in terms of like really delivering a Netflix special type of thing. Yeah. And like personally, I think I'm capable. And that's a goal.
Think you are, bro.
I'd watch that, honestly.
But are you
that's
are you good at public
future,
speaking?
Man, that's my goal.
Are you good at public speaking? Are you good at public speaking?
Yeah, man, I'm good at camera. I'm good at public speaking. I was in the debate club in high school, so.
Oh right, yeah, that's it. Then.
Yeah.
Because public speaking is a different thing, man. Like you see some people, and I've seen it in person, that are so happy and like confident in front of a camera, and then you meet them in person, it's like, bro, what the fuck? Are you like? Are you the same person? Like they're completely different. Like they're very introverted.
It's easy to speak.
There's a lot more creators in Sydney, so you guys obviously have that experience.
Yeah.
Of like meeting other content creators and like obviously seeing the way they are in person. Being in Melbourne, I don't know if it's just a Melbourne thing, but everyone really keeps to themselves in the sense of like content creators don't really like link up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it's one of those things. Everyone stays in their own lane in a way.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad
we did
thing,
have
but
like
it's also not a good thing.
We did have like a few events, like obviously before lockdown and stuff, where Veronica B organized some like, it was like a Sydney clout party, and like all these like Sydney TikTokers rocked up. Some of them I enjoy their content, some of them I don't. I'm not going to name drop, but like it was good. It was good to sort of meet everyone and not see them on like a screen. You know what I mean? It's completely different.
But I think the crazy part about me meeting content creators, is, man, it's very like seeing them on camera is one thing, but engaging in a conversation with them is a whole different ball game. Yeah,
completely different.
So like obviously like you boys like might have experienced this, maybe not, but in the sense of like you meet someone and you're like, man, you aren't what you crack out to be. Like like in a bad way and in a good way, like in both ways. Yeah. And it's odd, man. Like the internet's a weird space, and I think like a lot of people like with TikTok, it's like smoke and mirrors, man.
That's right.
Some of these people crank out to be bigger than what they are, prettier than what they are,
100%,
a lot more confident than what they are. Then you see them in real life, and bro, I'll say this firsthand on this podcast, and I don't care if it gets soundbited because I'm the type of person where if someone says something on TikTok, and I think this is why I am drama free on TikTok, is because if someone says something or someone does something or like comments something, bro, I'll call them out on their bullshit because at the end of the day, like I jump on the app. I don't hassle anyone. I don't talk to anyone. But all these people that jump on lives and, like make videos about each other, talk to each other, fight each other and everything.
Bro,
like,
don't get me started,
as I said, man, it's one day they're going to say it to the wrong person. And I'm not saying it's me. It could be anyone.
Yeah, 100%.
And bro, once that thing, comes towards you, and especially if you're not ready for it.
Bro, it's all like they think this clout game is just, you know, it's all rainbows, sunshine and rainbows, and all this little bit of clout, and like, oh, I get this much views on my live, or oh, I get this much views on my live. But what are these people watching you for? They're not watching you because they love you. They're watching you because they just literally love making fun of you. And
laughed at,
you're laughed at. You're a clown. Basically, you're a clown. It's
that, and I think like with lives, and especially on TikTok, it's like chewing gum. It has flavor for a bit, and then you spit it out. And most of these people are chewing gum TikTokers, in the sense of like, it's entertaining when you're at home.
Talentless. Say it how it is.
Right. Like it's entertaining when you're in lockdown and you're in bed and there's nothing better to do, so you just watch them. But reality speaking, man, these people aren't gonna, like, longevity in the game isn't up there.
When lockdown's over, let's see who's gonna still be watching their content. Like, honestly speaking, like, people are just bored. Yeah. People are just bored now. They just want to see, like, and it's crazy how that's how it's become. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people love seeing these people just start like dramas. It's like, oh, it's just all based on like fighting, and it's not even like the entertaining type of drama. It's like the fucking just straight up like swearing at each other, swearing at each other's mums. Yeah, bro. It's like
senseless bullshit. It's just like,
and you know, like, obviously you two boys come from a good family, and you know, like myself, I like to think I come from a good family. It's one of those things, man. You don't want to get involved in, man. Full stop. And anyone who entertains it is just almost as bad as them.
That's what shits me. What annoys me more is the people that actually jump on their lives and give them that sort of attention, and that, because that's just an ego boost for them, and they're like, oh, people are loving. If they were getting the viewers they wouldn't be doing that shit. But it's because of the viewers that jump on and be like, oh yeah, you know, this and that. Like, they G them up. They G them up.
Status somehow, like, just
yeah, man. It's a strange game, and then there are people who are genuine, like, talent, or at least put effort into their stuff that, you know, don't get much, man.
It's sad. Like,
it's sad, man. It's honestly sad.
Like, there's one guy that sticks out to me. He's one of my favorite content creators. I don't know if you know him. He's the Bearded Athlete. He does like a lot of exercising and stuff. He's from Sydney.
I've seen his content.
Yeah, he's like, you can't miss him. He's got that like amazing
the beard oil.
Yeah. He's the beard oil. His content's amazing, bro. Like, his content is all based on like bettering yourself, and he's doing this like 75 hard day challenge where it's like 75 straight. He's like doing 2 exercises a day, you know, eating healthy and stuff. And it's crazy how his views, like, he can do comedy skits and get so much more views, but he's doing what he loves, and he's not getting the attention he deserves. And I feel like he should be looked at as a role model in the community, rather than people that are just fucking swearing at each other on lives and things like that. It's just it's sad, bro, how this...
That's the name of the game. But I think by the 50th or 75th day where we are out of lockdown, and people actually like realize, like, people around them, you know, like they come to this real life realm, and they realize, that's when they sort of start consuming that type of content. It's just like it's just like the gym. In the summer, everyone is like, oh yeah, you know, I need to train, I need to this, because they go to the beach, they start feeling self-conscious, they go to the pools, they feel a certain way. And then it comes winter, they're like, you know what, I'm not in that space, I don't need to do it. The same thing with TikTok. You know, with lockdown, a lot of people are going to be enjoying the chewing gum TikTok. But once that real life happens, then they're going to want to see like actual stuff that they benefit from.
I feel like
or get value from
frying. Yeah, exactly. Value. That's the like word. I feel like people's brains are getting fried from all this like straight, like sitting. Imagine sitting on someone's live for 4 hours of them just swearing at someone. How it doesn't work through my your brain be, bro? Like, fuck.
Something in the vape, bro.
Oh, bro, 100%. I agree with you, because it could be. It could be, man. That's,
the liquids,
you know what?
get into them.
Conspiracy theorist right there.
The battery, bro. It's the battery.
It's the battery in the
vape.
Get
the tinfoil hat, boys.
I'll crank. You know how I am, bro, against these conspiracy theorists, bro. Like, bro, I've put so many videos, and you saw one of them, the one about the guy that
sterile,
sterile,
That's, you know, that video is goated.
It's one of my favorite videos that I've made, to be honest. Like, you know how you have that favorite video where you always look back and you're like, oh, you know what, that was a good video. It's one of my favorite videos, man. Like, it's just the way it is, bro. And like, there's so many going around these days, bro. It's like everything's like, people don't pay attention to the bigger image. It's just always like trying to like focus on one sort of thing.
It's easier to believe something that's made up by yourself, and like there's a lot of confirmation bias as well, especially with algorithms don't help, because they give you more of what you want, or what more of what you want to see or believe. So if you believe and like entertain these people that believe a certain way, then all it's going to give you is more of that to confirm your bias.
That's right.
That.
You're looking for what you want to look for.
Yeah, not
basically.
looking for the.
It's not like looking
Pretty
for
much,
the right
and
side
the
of it.
algorithm will just power that more and more into your face. Then,
Exactly.
Bro, all right. So let's get into a bit of fitness, okay? Because you obviously you're humble about it, bro. I noticed you're very humble about it, like your weight loss and the way you've shaped up your body and stuff.
If you see me with my top off, you know the content has run dry.
What do you mean?
Nah, I'm joking, bro.
Nah, bro. I reckon you still got that like chest bra and all that abs and. Bro, I've seen your body transformation. It's crazy, man. I admire it. You know what I mean? And anyone that puts sort of dedication into something like that, you just know that they're the real deal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Mike Tyson says that you're nothing without discipline, and it takes a lot of discipline to sort of cut the eating shit, cut the sugary drinks, and cut all this, and actually focus and put your mind to something and work out hard. And I've noticed, bro, I follow you on Instagram. You're always like, you're training, even though like you can't really go to the gym and stuff. And it's admirable, bro. And how much did it help you sort of get to where you are?
I think I wouldn't be the type of content creator now if it wasn't for fitness.
That's right.
Once I finished YouTube, I managed to get a job with one of the biggest gyms in Victoria, if not Australia-wide. But that's debatable. And like it's one of those things where when you're surrounded, like confirmation bias again, like you're surrounded by the same people who tell you the same thing every day. Yeah. And then like after 3 months of working in the gym, I was like, you know what? I think it's time like to take things to the next level. Like everyone who looks good they're all meal prep, they're all doing this. I'm like, ugly thing about fitness is you filter out the BS. There's a lot of like bad information. There are people that'll come up to you, say, take ABC and you'll get, this in 8 weeks or 4 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever. You got to filter through that. I've had good mentors. That's it. Take this, take that, just put in some AstraZeneca and you'll be sweet. But hey, let's not get into that. But, a mixture of good mentors and bad mentors, and obviously you cherry pick information and then you slowly develop. Obviously, I took it to the level of like wanting to compete, and I think that's where TEDSTHETICS came from, because it was like,
bro.
I'm still Teddy. Wuss. What was I going to say? So like obviously still Teddy, but aesthetics. So TEDSTHETICS, put them both together. I competed. That was probably like the best experience of my life.
It's like
pretty much. That was like
you know how there's like a weaker form, and then you've like evolved to like
Super
a strong
Saiyan.
Super Saiyan form. You know what I mean? From Teddy to TEDSTHETICS.
I went from Charmander to Charizard, bro.
That's right, bro. That's exactly right. The transformation is there, bro.
Pretty much, man. And I think like obviously with training, eating and everything, like it's just etched into my soul now. So like even with lockdowns and everything, I'll still find some sort of exercise. Like obviously now I want to take on a new challenge of maybe doing something different instead of like traditional gym training. But I think it'll be something I'll do for the rest of my life. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Bro. Like, like they say, have you got an addictive personality? Like, do you get addicted to stuff?
Nah, man. I'm very indecisive when it comes to certain things. Like I'm the type of person, like if I pick something up, like probably 3 weeks later, I'll put it back down and then I'll be like, oh, no. Like I think I was a victim of that when I first started. I'll try this diet, do it for 2-3 weeks. Oh, no. I'll go to this diet. Oh, no. I'll train this way. No, I'll train that way. So I'm very indecisive like that. But I think you get to a certain point where you realize like 5 + 5 = 10.
10, yeah.
But so that's 6 + 4. So it does, 7 + 3.
There's no right way.
As long as you get to number 10.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how you do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like a lot of people say, like, if you focus on one thing, right? If you focus on one thing and do it to the best of your ability and just do that one thing and just focus on it, it's better than doing like a 10 things and trying to do all at the same time. You know what I mean? Like you need that discipline to sort of, there's that saying like,
Jack of all trades, master of none.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And there was another one where it's like, I fear the guy that practiced one kick 1,000 times rather than
1,000 kicks.
1,000 different kicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've sort of perfected it works on your content. Like your content, you're perfecting it and it's getting better as you go on. Like the way I think it's not more so the concept, it's more so the things you say. It's like something, for example, like, oh, if you drink a cappuccino, you may as well order a baby chino, or like the sayings you do, because I don't know how you come up with them, bro. It's crazy.
The way I look at it, at the end of the day, it's punchlines. Yeah. But it's got a flow. Like when you listen to Drake or you listen to a rapper and they say something, it's almost like, oh, well, like it'll stick with them. So whenever I do plan my content, I don't write my content. Whenever I plan my content, I try and make it flow so that when someone, like I have a really, really good, like probably like a very well-off gentleman who, like we speak every now and then, very low-key, very humble. And he messages me and he's like, dude, like I'll be speaking to my wife and I'll say, and you can't change my mind.
No way.
Because it just rings in my mind.
I'm telling you, you know, it's just a punchline.
He's like, bro, like he's like, I'll be having a business meeting and someone will be like, oh, you know, this, and I'll be like, oh, and you can't change my mind.
Change your mind.
He's like, it just flows. He's like the way you say it and obviously the delivery. But obviously with the punchlines and the jokes, they've got to flow in a certain way where I want it, like what I tell everyone is people will forget what you look like. People will forget, you know, what you say. People will forget what you do, but no one will ever forget how you made them feel. And at the end of the day, when I make a video, I want them to feel a certain way. I want them, whether it's good or bad, at the end of the day, like I want them to feel both ways in the sense of like, if they come up to me in the street, I want them to say, oh, bro, I love cherry rope. I love
exactly.
You know, why are you dissing my cappuccino?
Bro, 100%. You want them to like, so you want them to watch your video that night and then the next morning at work, look at the coffee and be like, you know what? Wait, Teddy was right. Like you want them to remember, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm like,
of course, man.
Yeah, I was getting the cappuccino. I'm like, fuck, Teddy's right.
Teddy's right. Exactly. Right. There you go.
Might have to make the switch.
Hey, you're always welcome to the dark side, man.
That's it. But there was one about voice messages or something, and it was like the ones that leave long voice messages. You might as well start a podcast.
Bro, like, oh my god, that killed me.
I even commented.
That killed me, that one.
That was perfect,
bro.
Hey, it's one of those things. As I said, man, like I'll have an experience, and then I'll
oh, like, so you actually, so it's based on real events, right? So like someone did send you a long fucking voice message, and you're like, you know what?
But that's what makes it relatable.
That's what makes it relatable.
Everyone's experienced it at least once or twice.
It's real life. That's all it is, man. Life. Like everything I speak about is real life, and it's an experience. Like I said, if it's reflected back on me, I'll be like, yeah, of course,
exactly.
ABC.
Yeah. It's very general. Like when I say general, it's not like these are the top 3. Like when you say it, it's like top 3 coffees. It's like top 3 waters. It's like top 3. You know, soft drinks. It's like very general. It's not very like specific niche, which is what makes it more relatable.
I think I get that from Mr. Bean in the sense of like Mr. Bean, no matter what language you speak in the world, you'll find him funny. Why?
There you go.
Because it's relatable.
Whether
you speak Arabic, whether you speak Chinese, Mandarin, or whether you speak like Portuguese, you watch Mr. Bean and you'll laugh because you think, bro, this guy's a clown. So I think with my videos, I try and make it as vanilla as possible, where that kid who's watching me in Mildura or that kid in Wagga Wagga who, you know, there's only 5 people in his town. But he does those experiences. I want them, or, you know, that girl, you know, who lives in the middle of nowhere to watch my video and feel like, holy you know what? The rest of Australia is like me.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard though. Like when you're being general, like for example, for me, a lot of my content, the only way you can relate to it is if you're from Sydney or if you're from the area. But in order to make general content, it's hard because it's harder to blow up. And for example, like with you, if you were to make the same videos but be like, oh, these are the worst 3 suburbs in Melbourne, and then like us in Sydney will be like, oh wait, we don't know those suburbs, so we don't really know. But you haven't chosen that. You've chosen something very general, and it still works for you, which is like which is really good.
Like I said, man, good content is good content, no matter like no matter what. And at the end of the day, it's the subject matter isn't as important as the delivery. Like I could probably make a video about vacuums, but if the delivery is good, and you vacuum
exactly,
at home, you're gonna love it.
Regardless. No, I think the delivery is like very, very important. On another topic, I don't know if you've seen lately the sort of beef that's been happening between me and another sort of YouTuber, Maui Dewari.
Yes.
So we're gonna have this boxing event in Sydney. Okay, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it's a good event? Like, do you think it's something that you would attend?
There's potential in the sense of I'd put my hand up to commentate.
Yeah, I was literally gonna ask that. I was literally
commentator.
Like I'd partake in it. Definitely not like as a boxer because I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. But I fight for what I love. Nah,
that's right. Yeah. Fuck, nice one.
I'm a poet and I don't know it. And
He can keep it going, bro.
Like,
It's just a natural, bro. It's just comes out
I'd
of the
put
tongue.
my hand up to commentate or like, something like that, or even like, anything like that. But I think there's many other ways to do it. I feel like boxing is the easy way because like everyone wants to fight at the moment. But I feel like if like these are ideas that I've just even like thought to myself, like why doesn't someone have a FIFA tournament?
Oh yeah,
no one.
You know what? That's different.
Like even something like that. But specifically to your question, I'll be more than happy to attend. Yeah, and even like
we need you there, bro. We need you there.
Right, I'm more than happy to come down. And I think being from Melbourne, I'm like a neutral. I don't have any bias towards anyone.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, okay. May the best man win, pretty much.
Pretty much, man. I'm like, like I'll be a very fair, very neutral opinion.
Yeah. All right, last question. What's the best podcast in the area? And I want you to say it. This is my dream, right? I want Teddy to say it. I was telling him about this before the podcast. I want Teddy to like say who he thinks is the best podcast in the area, and say you can't change my mind. That would literally
be like the intro to our podcast.
That's it, and that's an easy ask, man.
So what's the answer? Hello?
No, I'm joking.
Oh shit! Fuck, I was like, oh no.
Nah, really, boys. The Lebbie podcast is the best podcast in the area, and you can't change my mind.
Bro, that's it. I can die happy. Yes. That was legit.
Clip that
we're clipping right that, there, bro. That is fucking.
Bro, I had to warm up. That's why I had to freeze up to like.
I was like, oh, he's like,
where's the connection gone? No, worst time to lose connection. I was like,
Nah, definitely, man. You boys are doing an awesome obviously a bit handicapped with the lockdown.
Bro, tell me about it.
But like there's a lot more stuff, and you guys can speak about. There's a lot more people you guys can interview, and like if there was anything that I'll request as a viewer, like as someone who genuinely like sits back at home or in my car, because I usually when I listen to like now it's easier that you guys are on Spotify because I have usually a half an hour 40-minute drive to work.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd rather just pop in AirPods or Bluetooth.
Yeah, much better.
And just listen to it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are unheard of, or not in the sense of they're unheard of, as in like not a lot of people are listening to him. And obviously the bearded athlete would be like a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Where people like they're so good, so much value in such a positive light, and they deserve that platform. They deserve, like I'm the type of person, like when I say be like Nike, I mean it in the sense of no matter how terrible my video is, at least no one will turn around and say you copied that. So when you do, like interview someone who's like unheard of, at least like you can be like, you know what? At least I was the first person to interview that person. Because how many people do you look at like when Joe Rogan or like some of the best podcasts at the end, their success leaves clues.
Yeah.
They interview someone and you just think, man, I wish I could interview someone. You could be that someone in Australia, bro. And like
that's the plan one day, like I actually just enjoy the whole process of meeting new people. I just enjoy the process of talking, making conversation. It makes me happy. It's something that I do. And I always say this, and I'll say this again, bro. This is out of every content I make, I do TikTok, I do YouTube. This is my favorite thing that I do, the podcast. And I think if everything goes, this is the one thing I'll probably keep and just do it as, as a hobby.
Double down. And double down, and once the lockdown is over, man, just go as hard as possible because there are a lot of unheard of people. If you boys ever come down to Melbourne, even for like a week or two, I'm happy to line up like 5-10 guests for you boys.
Bro,
honestly, and that's not including myself.
100%, bro. And that's the plan. Like we want to end up going to Melbourne. We want you to come down as well, so we can do another podcast and obviously have a part 2. There's so much more things I want to talk about, but I want to leave that for when we're in person.
Podcast, doing. Bro, we have a lot to talk about, man. Off
everything,
air, on
bro,
air,
everything.
Whatever,
honestly,
man.
I'll show you the area. I'll show you the area. I'll give you a tour.
To be honest with you, man, I've only been in Sydney a couple of times, man. So I actually don't know much. Like, yeah, man, that's it. I've been like once.
Do you know any suburbs
to the area? Like last time I went there, I just went Parramatta. Like I was just there for the night.
Okay,
sort of that's it, man. Other than that, like I've never been Bankstown. I've never been anywhere like that.
Oh, bro, you're gonna
which is crazy.
You're gonna love it.
I think it's one of those things where it's like a bit of a surreal experience. But if I do come down, it'll probably be like for more than a week.
Oh, right. Yeah,
because,
yeah, no, 100%.
for as much as I want to do for you guys, I want to do for myself as well. Like
100%, bro.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah. We can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I think it's cutting off, bro.
Okay, cool. Jeez, man. This 5G isn't working, man.
What's going on, bro? I'm vaccinated as well. Where the fuck's the 5G, man?
Are you guys taking the piss or?
Nah, legit.
You got the wrong vaccination, bro.
Probably, bro. But yeah, that was bro. Thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, it's been an honor, bro. My internet's fucking as you can see, Macca's Wi-Fi. But it's been a pleasure having you on, bro. And like I said, this isn't it. This is just see you later. It's not goodbye.
Nah. This is hey man. This is like we're just scratching the surface, man.
That's right, bro. That's right. And I honestly wish you the best of success in everything you do. And bro, the way you're going now, bro, the world's your oyster. You're like you're pushing for limits, bro. You're just going beyond the limits. And
hey man, what you want for me, I want for you boys times 10. Honestly,
thanks
I don't mean that like just like from throat up. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. And like I wish it the same, for everyone at the end of the day. Like whoever's watching this and wanting to do something with their life, I wish them all the best as well, man. And
there's
like,
not many.
If you're watching the Lebbie podcast, chances are you're doing right in your life. So you're on the right path already.
Thanks, bro. There's not many genuine people left like you, honestly, and we need more people like you.
We need more positivity.
Honestly, more 100%. Positivity.
Yeah, this is the time where you need positivity.
Of course, man, especially right now. But honestly, I appreciate everything, man. Thanks for the chat.
Thanks for coming on, bro. Thanks,
Moses, Mahmoud. Wallah, I appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
brother.
Thanks for coming on.
We'll catch you later. Take it easy.
For sure.